Bonjour, bonjour mes élèves. Ce leçon est pour mes élèves niveau 1. Nous avons déjà fait beaucoup de progrès et aujourd'hui nous allons discuter chapitre 7, les vêtements et la mode. C'est un sujet nouveau pour vous, donc il me faut d'expliquer en anglais et aussi en français pour votre niveau. Et alors donc je vais commencer maintenant la discussion et je vais commencer en anglais et je vais vous donner des expressions, comment discuter, les mots de vocabulaire, le grammaire. Je vais parler aussi en français pour vous. Okay, so let's get started with the discussion of this chapter. So this is a fun chapter. We've already discussed some elements of French culture that are important: music, food. Both are very important. There's another element to French culture that's just as important as those, maybe if even not more so, and that is clothes, style, fashion. And this chapter has a lot to offer. And there are a lot of activities that I typically do. Unfortunately, we're not physically together to do those in class. But I'll try to compensate as best as I can with activities and exercises via Google Classroom, which I'll send to you accompanying these videos. One thing about the chapter is, even though the chapter has a lot to offer, I do think this chapter has some shortcomings, and I'll try to fill in the blanks. So there's some commonly used words, phrases, concepts that are completely left out. So I'll try to flesh the chapter out a little more once going over the basics that are already mentioned to beef up the material a little better for you and to give you ways to more effectively discuss clothing, fashion, and style. Okay, so let's begin. Si vous tenez dans vos livres à la page 224, nous sommes à la page 224. Non, oh, pardon. On va commencer avec 222. 222. Ok? Nous allons commencer là. Et il y a une petite discussion en ce qui concerne le vocabulaire. Cette expression-là, faisons des magasins à Dakar. So Dakar is a city in Senegal, and a lot of this chapter will have a Senegalese theme. One of the languages spoken in Senegal and an official language of government and business in Senegal is French, and so it's appropriate to have Senegalese themes here. And a lot of the clothing that you'll see will have Senegalese motifs. Okay? And we're just going to go through the vocabulary. And as we go along, I'll give you additional explanations to flesh the material out more. Okay? So the first thing indicated is un chemisier et un jean. Okay, so right away, I've got some things to comment on. A strange thing about French clothing vocabulary is there are many words to describe clothing items for men where the word itself is feminine, and clothing items for women, where the word itself is masculine. So here, where you see un chemisier, we know right away by the article used, un, that this word is masculine. But un chemisier is a button-up for women. Okay? So a masculine word for a woman's clothing item. The male equivalent would be une chemise, and that's a button-up for a man. This here, un jean, I'm sure you would recognize this word, jean, and this means it's just jeans. But one thing that's difficult at the beginning of this chapter for the Anglophone is to remember that while in the food chapter we have les céréales, les pâtes, les toasts, things that are things that maybe we would say in the singular, the French say in the plural. You'll find that some of these clothing items are the opposite. What we think of naturally being in the plural, jeans, pants, shorts. The French don't think that way. A pair of jeans in French would be two sets of jeans. Okay, so un jean is what we think of as a pair of jeans. Okay, un pantalon is what we think of as pants. Un short, and this is a big sticking point for Anglophone students first learning French. They really want to say shorts, but even shorts is going to be singular in French unless you're talking about multiple sets of shorts. Okay, so jeans, un jean, pants, un pantalon, and shorts, un short. Okay, moving on. Une veste, and this is a light. Une veste, this is a light jacket. Okay, don't confuse that with what this is that I'm wearing. A vest like this in English vest is un gilet, G-I-L-E-T, un gilet. So une veste is a light jacket, and un gilet is a vest. And here you see the male version of the button-up that I mentioned earlier. Une chemise. Okay, moving on. Une robe. Une robe. Okay, starting here. Des sandales. Un chapeau. Un casquette. Des lunettes de soleil. Des lunettes, just by itself, is glasses. Lunettes de soleil is sunglasses. Une jupe is a skirt, and a shorter skirt like mini skirt would be a mini jupe. Okay, other useful words, and I'll start here and just work over. Okay, un tailleur, un costume, un coton. So that's material. So I've gone from un tailleur, a woman's suit, un costume, a man's suit, to material, un coton, un laine, made of wool, un cuir, made of leather, un jean, made of denim. And if you have a clothing item that's obviously denim, you don't have to specify that it's jean. Like, don't go into a store saying, bon, je cherche un jean. Like, so I'm looking for jeans and denim. Yeah, so you don't have to do that for jean pants. But you can say je cherche une veste en jean. So you can be looking for a denim jacket. En laine is linen. En soie is silk. Étroite is tight. Serré is also tight. Extra E's and S's for feminines, plurals. Large is loose. And something that's not mentioned here is petit or petite for small. E's and S's for feminines and plurals. Okay, moving on. Here, cold weather items. Une écharpe is a scarf. Un anorak, un pantalon. Un pull, un manteau, un imperméable. So, un pull is a sweater. Manteau is a heavier jacket. An imperméable is a waterproof jacket. Un foulard, a lady's scarf. Like it would be, rather than une écharpe, this would be much lighter and delicate, most likely silk, en soie. Okay, une cravate. So here's another example of men's item with where the word is feminine. Des chaussettes, socks. Des bottes, boots. Des chaussures, and that's shoes. Okay, and when you look at the materials that you've been introduced to, there are a few ways to combine this with colors. What I've heard most frequently and what I've always used most frequently is I say the item, I say the color, and if need be, then I add the material. So if I'm talking about leather boots, so black leather boots, des bottes noires en cuir. It's not as often that you'll hear des bottes en cuir noir. It doesn't flow as well, and I've just not heard it that as often as my initial way of presenting it. I've never used it as often as my initial way of presenting it. So typically, you're going to say the item, the color, and the material. That order of specificity is what's typical. Alors, c'est fait pour partie 1 de cette série de vidéos et nous allons continuer avec partie 2. And in part 2, I'm going to flesh this out more with what I think has been left out of this, this part of the chapter. Merci bien.